charmed ones. Witches who are destined to save the world from impending doom.
Hi, welcome to There's No Fiction with Mimi, a subjective look at fiction. And as Neville Goddard taught, there is no fiction. That's quite right. I find that so fascinating and I love it. And this is a special request from a patron doing a There Is No Fiction video on Charmed. Now, as a rule, the There Is No Fiction is a blog I post every Friday on my patron site, and it's exclusive to patrons. I have published a book that has several of those blogs. Some of them have been open to the public, but the majority are not. And I pulled them together and I put a book, but there's a lot more. And this patron really wanted a video, so There Is No Fiction. Charmed. It's about 3 sisters. And 2 sisters have been growing up with their mother. And the oldest one is very passionate, and she represents consciousness of the child. And the younger sister represents the imaginative, creative one. And then they meet their older sister. But first, their mother has died. And it is called a suicide by the authorities. But they know there's something more going on there and that their mother wouldn't be like that. Well, they discover their mother was a witch. In other words, their mother walked with God. And she did it through magic. And she believed in spells, so she would cast spells. This is what we do when we imagine. We're casting spells, okay? It's just another way of saying it. An older sister appears, and their mother had left her behind for whatever reason, we don't know. But we do know that she shows up and they accept her. Okay, and now the 3 work as one, and they have a teacher, a mentor, and his name's Harry, and Harry really tries to help them and teach them, and he worries and fusses over them, and, he's the teacher who's trying to show them how
I will
to
help
think.
you understand it all. I am an advisor to witches.
Wait, was Mom a witch?
Bingo. And part of my speech.
And that you can't believe everything you see because it's a trickster. It's spirit. This is all spirit. You've just been taught to think it's all real when it's all spirit. So they are coming into their power, and he's trying to help them by running them through simulations and other things. And of course, it's experience that ends up teaching them. The one thinks she's all that. Thank you very much. And it's her destiny to do this. And she's passionate about it. She's that Saul, about to become Paul. And her younger sister is all caught up in the objective side. She's worried about if she's going to get the sorority. She's worried about what other people think. And things like that. And then the oldest one, she's that clear-headed scientific thinker.
What are you waiting for? Hit him now! Screw it. I've got a spell for this. What are you talking about? Solares.
And what is their destiny? Their destiny is to start the harbinger, the devil from walking this world, take it all over. And they discover that that's what killed their mother. And there's, playing back and forth about what is real and what is not. And so this is a story about, humanity and how The things we think are miraculous, we often call magic. And it's just the same thing said differently. It's all magic. It's all spirit. It's all magic. It's all imagination. It's all a story. These are the things that they come to discover. And they're placing, a new story, science, into the magic. This was the girl who steps forward, the oldest sister who's been kept separate from them. And she's been learning on her own, in her own way. And she steps forward, they accept her, and they start telling her about their mother, which is telling her about God, and how their mother always loved them, and she knew things before they did, and, about themselves, and how their mother always accepted them and loved them no matter what, and how important that was to them, that they understood that, it doesn't matter. I'm still a great person, and so the passionate one, and the imaginative one, and the scientific one, the three come together, and they've been declared the charmed ones.
Can we dial back the realism of these training sessions? Because that was super dramatic.
I'm a witch, Harry. You can't tell me to hold back from being the best witch possible.
Well, we're all charmed, aren't we? Yeah, we are. And the acting in this is just great. Now, I've only watched the first season of Charmed, and they just did a marvelous job with it. It really is great. I know it's been around for a while, and other actors have appeared in it, and when they did, it started going kind of downhill. You can tell that from the ratings and other things, but when ugly enters into a set, then people aren't getting along, and they're not imagining and getting into it like they should be. The creative force isn't flowing, and it shows, it really does. But in the first season, that was flowing, okay, that was flowing, and there were just some really great nuggets in that show, how people love you, but it's no good if you don't love yourself. And the oldest daughter, she's almost 30, and she's still a virgin, and she seems to think that's just terrible.
But where are we going to get our hands on virgin blood?
Right here.
And the other two point out to her, you keep pushing that away. Go for it. Go have some love. Go have some life. Go enjoy it. And she finally does. She does accept that. I hope you'll catch it. It's a really great show, and I have really enjoyed it. I'm going to go work on season 2, but I can tell from the angst that came out of the actors in this show that it was important for people to fall in love with that show so that they could see the two sides. And it began on the side of good, and it evolved into the opposite. And that's usually what happens. It starts evolving into what man thinks, and then everybody loses interest and nobody wants to hear it anymore. So I hope this helps. Blessings to you. Thank you. Thank you for being you.
Your mother's spellbook, the Book of Shadows. Your guide to protect the innocent and vanquish demons. You three have to decide whether you wish to accept your witchly fate.